Hey guys, it's a chance, and today we have two amazing guests with us. We have none other than a communism regime who actually lived under it, and we have a literature expert who's amazing at Animal Farm, and he's an analyst. So talk to us about the communism regime, Sir Vladimir. Yeah, I did live in the communism regime, and life was, how do you say, really hard. I really struggled throughout life. I lost many members of my family, my cousins, my aunties, my uncles, and more importantly, I lost my own family. I lost my father, mother, and the only person who's in my heart and who's actually alive is my young brother. And I rarely get to see him now, as they've taken him away, and they've never actually given him back to me, even when I've actually turned 18 and he's 18 as well. So hear that, Mr. Putin, but we must crack on with the show. And we've got Mr. Jones from NYC Department, who's a critic and an analyst company who analyzes books and who refers people to the radio show to talk about books. And today we've got an expert on Animal Farm. He's read it a lot of times and he's talked about it a lot of times, and we want him to put most
I really have read a lot of books, and
Animal
these
Farm.
books are really, really great. But the book I would most really loved to read is probably Animal Farm. And there is another book I would like to talk about. It's called Mother, and this was written by a person called Maxim Gorky, who's an amazing author. And this author actually lived under the communism regime, like Mr. Vladimir over here. And that really strikes me, how a person with such little freedom had the freedom to write books. So that kind of really struck me really nicely. But this book is all about how people had to do in the hardship, how they survived, how they lived. And he said only a minor of the good points, which can kind of fill your heart with hatred. And this book really got to me, that people didn't really have the chance to express themselves however they wanted. It's really a typical rubbish life, really, and I would not to live that life. We're going to talk to Mr. Vladimir about his life under the communism regime. Living under the regime was actually seriously tough. Life wasn't really that easy. No one handed out anything to you. You had to work hard and do it. And we thought communism regime was amazingly fantastic. It was great. But then actually it was rubbish. It was crap. And at the start we thought it was great communism. Everything was going to be equal. Everything was going to be nice. Everyone was going to get equal pay. We were going to live nice. But in life there are nobody who is equal. Nobody in life are equal. No one is equal. And funnily enough, it really contradicts with the story as with Animal Farm. It's exactly the same, and amazingly it shows because Animal Farm is an allegory, because the story has a deeper meaning, and the meaning is that it's exactly the same as the Russian Revolution. It's basically retelling it, and in a sense it's exactly the same because they are the same leaders, the same person. And this is quite annoying, so I don't really like this story, but within the story there's heart and there's passion, and that's why I really love this story. But for one reason I really do not like this story is the fact it really represents the people of my nation, and my nation, the people who represented my nation were the worst people, and they came too greedy and just too powerful. We are going to hear a short track from Trumpets from Jason Derulo.
Remind me of a Kanye West song. Is it weird that I hear trumpets when you're turning me on? Is it weird that your bra remind me of a Katy Perry song? Every time that you get undressed, I hear symphonies in my head. I wrote this song just looking at you. Yeah, the drums they swing low, and the trumpets they go, and they playing for you, girl.
We're gonna talk about Animal Farm, and that was an amazing song by Jason Derulo. That song was called Trumpets, if anyone wants to know. And we're gonna talk about Animal Farm and why it's so controversial. So take it away, Mr. Jones. Animal Farm really is a controversial book, and it kind of reinstates life, and well, it is a manipulation of words. It's unbelievable how they really controlled the state, and it's an allegory because the pigs used Squealer for propaganda and to persuade the other animals to follow it in their way and to keep on coming. But there's really one animal that was really cynical and quite pessimistic about this whole thing, and that was Benjamin, and he didn't really like the idea. He loved a capitalist world such as Molly. I do agree with you there, Mr. Jones, but after the old major died, he did an amazing speech. That speech was absolutely fantastic. And that speech really, it's like he brainwashed everyone. He changed everyone's ideas, and that's manipulating words of their advantage. And personally, I think this is actually really clever and stuff because it gains control, and the pigs had gained a lot of control, and they became more and more audacious with their amazing types of manipulation. And Squealer always changed the 7 types of animalistic rights, such as no animal can sleep in the bed with sheets. And just because Napoleon slept in the bed, you can't really do that. And they saw all animals are equal, but there's always one animal that is more equal than another. So yeah. And Animal Farm really captivates the hardness chip, and yep. Right. Well, Mr. Valerio, what was your favourite, moments from the book? My favourite moments from the book was when it was actually the last couple of pages, and when Napoleon really took charge of Animal Farm, and he wanted to repair the mill that the traitor Snowball had did it, and this was really absolutely amazing, and it showed real personality to actually do this, to be turned against and then say, I will actually support this group, I believe in all this. And this is all because of Napoleon, and he changed it, and he said there's going to be no rights, we must be ruled, and we are going to be ruled. And he changed Animal Farm to actually Manor Farm, and that takes courage. And what Snowball did was really cowardly. He ran away after destroying some property, and I think that was absolutely disgusting. So yes, that's my favourite moment. What was your favourite part of the book, Mr. Jones? My favourite part of the book was actually the Battle of the Cowshed, because that was absolutely amazing. It's actually amazing the way that George Orwell described the entire scene. It was really rich, powerful language, and it's kind of funny the way Snowball took charge, but then Napoleon was a bit of a coward. And then later on in the book, the last couple of pages, that Napoleon had taken charge. So that was like turn of events, which I found was pretty amusing. And so that was actually quite an amazing piece of gift. And it shows the guilt that Boxer had after he killed the stable boy. And he really had that guilt, and that guilt haunts for him for the rest of his life. And he doesn't really like the guilt, and no one likes guilt really. On whole, what do you think the book is really about? It's a simplistic book, but it's also a classic because it really cultivates the essence of the communist life that was in Russia, whilst keeping the story in a paceable mode with such bad language. How would I say bad? Such unnice language, and the way they manipulated the animal to come into their side, and it really links very close to the Soviet Union world. And the magical word twisting abilities of Squealer, that was profoundly amazing. The way Squealer used to trick everyone to believe in what he said. He's so persuasive that, you know, as a reader you will almost believe him yourself as a reader. And this increased audacity of Napoleon and his actions showed how Stalin slowly became what Bolsheviks originally fought against.
a powerful, rich, neglecting ruler. Thank you for tuning in with us, and this has been Sky News 1, and I'm gonna be generous and let you finish off with a little song.